If you've been watching the channel for very long, you may have noticed that I like to throw knives. And we have looked at a lot of different throwing knives over the years here at Survival on Purpose. But one thing all the knives we've looked at so far have in common is they're just designed to throw and not really to cut. None of them really have an edge on them. Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at a knife that is designed to be thrown and to be used for regular knife stuff. I'm talking about the Cold Steel True Flight Thrower. And we're going to put this through the entire scientific testing regimen here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide headquarters, including the balance test. We're also going to do that regular old knife stuff with it and see how well it performs all together in the entire spectrum of science. So that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Stick around, we'll see how she does. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video where it is Saturday and we take a look at something sharp. And today that something sharp, as I said, is this True Flight, Cold Steel True Flight Thrower, Cold Steel True Flight Thrower. I got it that time, I think. And as I said, this is more than just a thrower. It's got an edge on it. And I bought this one at Big Daddy Unlimited, which is a good time for me to say thanks to the folks at Big Daddy Unlimited for sponsoring these Sharp Saturday videos and making them possible. And the way they do that is if you go to survivalonpurpose.com/BDU and get a 99-cent 30-day trial membership to Big Daddy Unlimited's membership site, gets you behind the door, so to speak, in the door, so you can check out the site. See if you think it'll save you money, if you got stuff you're looking for there. If you do think so and you stick around at the regular membership price of $9.99 a month or 99 bucks a year, then they'll throw me a couple of bucks for introducing you. So if you save money, it helps support the channel. It's a win-win, and I really appreciate it. Thanks to Big Daddy Unlimited for making that possible. Now, I think first let's just go down to the old stump top, get to doing some of that knife stuff before we go to the slightly damaged balance, orientation, and rotation device and check the aerodynamic balance of this thing. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, the old stump top is wet. It's been raining for about 2 days here, but we're going to talk about the specs of this knife real quick, and then we'll get to doing the knife stuff. So first of all, take a look at it. This thing is 12 inches long, which is a really great length for a throwing knife, in my opinion. It is 1055 carbon steel with a 6 3/4 inch blade, 5mm thick. It's sharp on one side. It weighs 11.2 ounces, and it has a 5 1/4 inch long paracord wrapped handle, which may or may not come off as I'm doing the balance testing on it. I might have to take it off, but the MSRP on this one is just 39 bucks, and I paid 22 bucks on Big Daddy Unlimited for it. So there you go. And it comes with this little kind of a nylon sheath with a plastic end on it. Nothing fancy at all, but it does have a sheath, so you could carry this on your belt and potentially use it as an actual knife, and that's what we're going to find out right now. So let's get to that. First of all, you know we got to do the redneck sharp test, right? So let's just see. We'll get the other arm this time. Can you see that? Let's try it. Okay, so I'm trying my left hand. It's not doing too good. Let's try it using my other hand. Okay, so not redneck sharp. I mean, it's got an edge on it for a throwing knife, but it's not redneck sharp. We'll try the paper cutting test on my slightly damp paper. See how well it works. People want to see that. And my paper's kind of damp, not conducive to paper cutting, so not really paper cutting sharp either. So what's next? We'll try some of that wood stuff. Actually, I think what I'm going to do next with it, we'll just try a little chopping. How about that? You want to? Well, and this is some heavy stuff. We're not going to try to chop all the way through it because this is really not a chopper. I just want to see how well it does a little bit of chopping. So we'll start here. Okay, so, I mean, it'll chop a little bit. It does kind of slide out of my hand. It wants to slide out of my hand. There's nothing to stop it, which is good for a throwing knife, but not so great for a chopper. So we're going to call that one, you know, medium to poor on chopping, but it's not really designed to be a chopper. So couple of other things we can do. It's been raining out here. I'm gonna try to do a little splitting on this, because see if I can get some dry wood on the inside and do a little carving. So first I'm gonna cut the end of this little wedge off. I'm gonna try to cut the end of it off. Let's see if I can find something to use for a baton. Big thing here will make a baton, I think. So we got some dry wood in there, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that. Let me cut that out a little bit. And a little bit more. This is a valid use for batoning, in my opinion. A valid reason to baton. So let's just see if this thing will carve some feathers now. Okay, it does carve some wood. I mean, it's not razor sharp, but it carves some feathers there, and not really too bad, to be honest with you. Let me split that again. Let's see if we can get some more curls out there. Because you know where we're going next, don't you? I'm trying to not carve on the wet end right here. That's kind of wet. Maybe we can just chop that off. Let's see. Okay, so I get rid of the wet, so if we go all the way to the bottom, we don't get any wet on there. And it did okay on chopping that small stuff, so. This 1055 steel, which is not the greatest for holding an edge, for doing carving type stuff, but it's really good for strength, for throwing. Makes it a little more abuse resistant. So, got a few curls there. What about some of that good old fat wood? Let me find my fat wood storage. Oh, here it is. Look at that. That's wet, okay? Seriously wet. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna carve a little bit of that off. Can you see that? Doesn't carve it great. It doesn't scrape at all. So there's nothing square on this to scrape with, except for, I don't even think I can scrape that. We're gonna try a ferro rod, but I don't think it'll scrape a ferro rod at all. A ferrocerium rod is technically is the actual, we'll see. Negative. So I could use the blade on it, the edge on it, but I'm not gonna do that. We can try this one little chip that somebody told me, and I don't think it's gonna work, so no. So we can use my favorite ferro rod though. This is my second favorite ferro rod. This is the Exotac. This is my favorite ferro rod. It comes with a little gas cylinder already attached to it, which is pretty cool. Of course, it doesn't necessarily work as good on damp wood every time. Probably we'll get her a little burn going on there, or maybe she'll go out. One or the other. Okay. She's gonna go out, eh? Well, I got an idea for you. Let's do this. There we go. Little fat wood curl going. That'll blaze her up there, won't it? Okay. Well, that's the kind of practical testing. What if we get all scientific now? Okay, let's just recap the practical testing. First of all, it did not pass the redneck sharp test. Has an edge on it, but not razor sharp. Didn't pass the paper cutting test with some admittedly damp paper. As far as chopping goes, it did okay. It you know, it doesn't have a chopping handle. It's not designed to be a chopper, but it did minor chopping. If you need to make a tent steak or something like that with it, you could. Batoning, I think it's fine for batoning. It's a 5mm thick piece of 1055, so it's going to be solid. It's made to be banged around. Shouldn't be a problem with batoning. Carving wood and stuff, it did okay with carving wood. Again, not super sharp, but sharp enough. No sharp edges here to strike a ferro rod or scrape anything. You can certainly do that if you needed to, but that's the practical stuff. But as you know, here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide headquarters, we maintain a state-of-the-art cutting-edge knife testing facility because we're all about the science here. And one of the tests we like to do with every fixed blade, especially ones that say thrower on them, is test their aerodynamic balance using our balance orientation and rotation device. And we also broke our balance orientation rotation device, or damaged it recently, testing a cold steel throwing hatchet. So it needs repair, and I have not had an opportunity to repair it yet. So we're gonna have to be more precise with our testing this time. But you'll see what I mean. But let's test this aerodynamically. You want to? You gotta do the science, right? Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so that hit flat, not good, but just got to do a little bit of calibration. I'm not really digging the paracord wrap, but you know, we'll see. I think I over-rotated. I did. Let's try again. A little better. Once more. Whoop, 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 whoop. Once more. Okay, final aerodynamic testing. I think we're about right here. We're going to call that one balance. Okay, so that is a hopefully reasonably coherent look at the cold steel True Flight thrower, and I was really intrigued to check this one out because it does have an edge on it, and it is a serviceable edge, and I have no doubt that this edge could be made a little better with a little bit of effort, because it's got a pretty good start already. It's sharp enough to do some basic woodwork, but I'd really like to see it a little sharper. But for a throwing knife, it's the sharpest one I've seen so far, and it is very well balanced. It's 12 inches, which I think is a good length for a throwing knife. The weight is good on it. The paracord wrap handle can be removed, obviously, if you want to, but it really doesn't get in my way. I had somebody leave a comment about, I think they were talking about this one on my another throwing video, that said that when they had multiple of these, then one of them would hit the other and mess up the paracord. That's certainly possible, but I still think it helps if you're actually using it like a knife. So I got to give this one a thumbs up, man. It's I think it's a very low budget knife. Like I said, this price is somewhere around 30 bucks. I paid 22 bucks for this thing on Big Daddy Unlimited. And for a knife that is made to throw and also made to cut, I think that's not bad. So anyway, again, I encourage you, if you haven't tried throwing knives, it's just good, clean fun. Maybe it could be a martial art, I don't know, but me, it's just fun. So, and the cold steel, in my opinion, right now, cold steel is holding the lead on throwing knives of all of them I reviewed so far. So I got some more to look at coming up real soon. Maybe they'll get passed up, but either way, they've got some great throwing knives at great prices. So thanks again to the folks at Big Daddy Unlimited for making these videos possible, and thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared, and I'll see you next time.